Just another reminder that when you're not speaking, to go ahead and turn the mute on. So if you go to the little drop down arrow, you'll see the mute button. So when you're not speaking, go ahead and mute, and that way we won't get any background noise or feedback or anything on your end. And then I mentioned this to Tonya, but just right before you speak, just go ahead and say your first and last name slowly and clearly. So that way the peer who's evaluating your speech will have an easier time finding you on the video. And I think that's essentially it. After we get done, I'll send out the link to this video, and it'll take you to a YouTube channel. And don't forget, hopefully you've already uploaded your outline, but if you haven't, do that right after we get done, and try not to forget that. All right. I will be taking notes, so if I'm looking down, I'm not being rude. I'm just taking notes as you're speaking. So maybe think about making eye contact or looking at the other people in the class instead of at me. Any questions?
Do you want me to go through and do like the topic area and all of that stuff too? Like go through the outline before the speech, or just go ahead and do?
You can jump right in. Just say your first and last name, and then just go ahead and jump right into the speech. You could say like my topic is. All right. What'd you say, Riley?
Can you hear me fine?
Yeah, okay. You were breaking up for a second, but I can now. Are you all set? Any questions before we get started?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay.
All right. My name's Riley Haney, and for my topic, I'm going to do sustainability in the retail industry. And I'm specifically focusing on Patagonia. So Patagonia is one of the most well-known companies in the world when it comes to sustainable in the retail industry. So from their beginnings, they started out making climbing gear, and then later moved on to other kinds of clothing, apparel for men, women, and children. They found out that their products had an impact on the environment, so they realized change the way that for them to continue doing business and keep swelled. So first of all, I'll discuss Patagonia and the business itself. For those of you that are unaware about what Patagonia really is, it's just a retail company, and it sells products such as climbing gear, surfing gear, and then other kind of apparel like jackets and coats, hats, just everyday apparel. And in the beginning, they mainly focused on producing, like I said, climbing gear and just outdoors things. And then they started marketing to a wider target market, which is just their regular apparel for men. In mission statement, it says right on their website that it's important to them to build the best product, cause no unnecessary harm, and use their business to inspire and improve solutions in order to help the environment crisis. So being that those are like Patagonia's #1 things, they really focus on doing that with their business and make that their main goal whenever trying to produce a quality product. And because of this, they decided to have this transparency in the business. So on our website, it tells you in their conditions everything from to the for them to be able to do this, to run a successful business while also having this transparency and having a good quality product, it's kind of something that's hard for them to do because are like not things that they're proud of that have happened with their business, like where they've gotten their products from and stuff in the past. So they started the Footprint Chronicles in 2007, and this just shows um, where they get their different products within, and it shows up, scan your, and it'll tell the world. At first, this wasn't easy for them because, of course, they had some things that they weren't proud of, like the working conditions of some of the companies that they bought some of their products from, and some of they had found they were mistreated, and then when they found that out, they realized that they had to discontinue those companies and farms and everything that did that. And even for them to achieve this ethical way for their workers and customers, they build a relationship with the companies that they interact with, and that way it's a tighter bond than them just going and buying from random people looking for the best price. They build relationships, and they stick to these relationships. So that builds a better quality worked product, really, because their relationships, they know what they're looking for, care for children and health care, and they came up with the Protecting Migrant Workers link, and it's right on their website. And through this link, they've been able to get other companies to join them in this protection program to help and make sure that their workers, through the Fair Wage Act, and also with child labor laws and that. So then, like I said, Patagonia is like one of the #1 known sources when it comes to sustainable business, and I think that it's something good that everybody knows about this business, not only to just know that they are doing this, but also whenever it comes to you buying products, you can like really, if you agree with the way that a certain from how they're treating their customers, or how ethical or unethical they're getting their stuff from different companies in order to create products that you buy. And I think just being aware with this is something that we need to be aware of in order to improve our environment and like our society as a whole. And
all right, thank you, Riley. What was her time, Anthony?
6 minutes and 10 seconds.
Okay. Riley, I think because of your internet connection, you came through a little bit choppy. I can understand it for the most part, but I think it's your internet, because I feel like Tonya and Anthony have been pretty clear. So Tonya, go ahead and speak. I just want to make sure.
I know.
What do you say?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like you're pretty clear, Tonya, and Anthony is pretty clear.
Okay.
Okay. All right. We'll move on to Tonya, and then Anthony will keep time for Tonya, and then we'll switch timekeepers. So whenever you are ready, Tonya.
Hold on, a screen just popped up on my computer. All right, there we go. All right, my name's Tonya Brinson, and I'm going to be talking about the effects of exercise on metabolism. All of us are getting older. Some of us are getting older and fatter. Why is it that the older we get, the harder it is to lose that last 5 pounds? I remember my mom, who's 65, always complaining about how hard it was to lose weight now that she's older, how hard it is to keep the weight off. So I've got to thinking, is there a way to increase your metabolism through physical activity? We keep hearing all the time that we're sedentary and we don't move enough, so is the answer just to move more? And what kind of exercise should I be doing to increase my metabolism? There are so many options out there, it's hard to know which one to choose. At some point, all of you will get to the place where you start putting on pounds and they don't come off as easy as they used to. Maybe you're already struggling with your weight or lagging energy levels. I know for myself, since I turned 40, it's so much harder to lose weight. Sarcopenia, as defined by Brink in 2007, is the loss of muscle mass as we age. Tanzila in 2016 states that when we are sedentary, we can lose as much as 3 to 8% of our muscle mass per decade. So, and that also comes with a decline in our metabolic rate. A few years ago, I was joking around with my dad, and I reached out and I grabbed a hold of his arm, and I was shocked because I'd always pictured my dad as a strong figure in my life, and when I felt his arm, and it was like there was no muscle there, it was all just bone and skin, and I'll never forget how that felt, and that kind of got me thinking about this losing muscle as you age thing. All of us are getting older, and being physically fit will make the difference in a healthier and more energetic life. Today I'm going to discuss 3 different types of exercise and their effects on metabolism and weight loss. The first one I want to talk about is cardiovascular exercise. Duke News and Communication in 2012 states that cardiovascular exercise is one of the most effective ways to burn fat. It also states that aerobics training causes you to lose more fat and more weight than just strength training alone. So different types of cardiovascular exercises include walking, running, swimming, jogging, basically anything that raises your heart rate for 30 to 60 minutes. Zuhl and Kravitz state several different benefits of cardiovascular exercise, and those would include increased cardiovascular health, increased disposal of metabolic waste, improved heart function, increased fat oxidation, an increase in carbohydrate sparing, which is using fat for fuel. So basically, cardiovascular exercise is really good for your body. But according to Tanzila, 2016, burning fat does not necessarily equal increase in resting metabolic rate. So that brings me to my second type of exercise I want to talk about, and that's strength training or resistance training. So resistance training is anytime you build muscle using your own body weight, free weights, resistance bands, or machines. Strasser and Schobersberger in 2011 talk about age-related muscle loss being the main cause of weakness in old age, and it can lead to obesity-associated insulin resistance. So some side effects of decreased muscle is decreased muscle strength, of course, decrease in muscle power, decrease in resting metabolic rate, decrease in lipid oxidation, and an increase in abdominal fat. So the Mayo Clinic 2016 states that muscle burns more calories than fat. So that equates to an increase in muscle mass equals an increase in fat burning. According to Maniskowski et al., building muscle increases resting metabolic rate, which allows you to burn more fat while at rest. So the last type of exercise I wanted to talk about was high-intensity interval training or HIIT training. You hear a lot about that lately, so I wanted to look into that. So Zuhl and Kravitz define HIIT training as 5 to 6, and it's an intense exercise, which is 90 to 95% of your heart rate max. Results, they say, are equal to or greater than steady-state cardiovascular exercise. They did a 6-week study, and it showed that people who did HIIT training or high-intensity interval training 3 days a week showed the same results or comparable results to those who completed steady state cardiovascular exercise 40 to 60 minutes 5 days a week. So there is definitely an increase in fat burning with HIIT training, and you also keep burning fat even after you've completed the exercise. So that means fat loss and an increase in metabolic rate. All three of these exercises are beneficial. The goal you're trying to achieve should be examined to determine which one would be the best for you. Any form of exercise is beneficial in our society that has become sedentary. Cardiovascular exercise, strength training, and HIIT training are all beneficial for fat loss and increased metabolism. From what I have found through my research, I need to do some form of cardiovascular training, whether it's steady state cardiovascular or HIIT training, to burn fat, and then I need to add in some strength training to increase my resting metabolic rate. Time is moving ahead. We are getting older each day. I am interested in finding exercises that allow me to increase my metabolism in the shortest amount of time possible. I found this information in all three different types of exercise extremely informative as I'm on my journey to choose an exercise program to incorporate into my hectic schedule. I believe I now have the information I need to make exercise a priority in my hectic life. Thank you.
Great job, everyone. What was her time, Anthony?
It was 6:34.
All right. And I saw Susan got on, but then I didn't see any image, so she must still be having trouble. So I will go ahead and let me see if she emailed me. I don't see it. Okay, so we are essentially done. I'm going to email you the link to this video. Don't forget to upload your outline.
What about
Any
Anthony?
questions?
Is Anthony going to go?
What did you say?
Is Anthony going to go?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I was like, I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I think we're done. No, okay.
He thought he was going to get
No,
out of
you
it.
don't get to go, Anthony. You just have to keep time for people. It's been a long week, let me tell you. Okay, Tonya will keep time for Anthony. And Anthony, I'm putting you on the big screen.
Okay.
And you can go whenever you are ready.
So my name is Anthony Merkel, and today I'll be talking about the ketogenic diet. So imagine a diet that you can eat bacon wrapped mozzarella sticks, salad-style Philly cheesesteaks, and avocado buns. I know it may sound crazy, but just humor me for a second. It's not, I wouldn't call it a diet as much as I'd call it a lifestyle change. And what I'm going to talk about today is how eating, what the heck ketogenic is. First off, it sounds like a very confusing name. The positive of doing ketogenic and the negative of doing ketogenic. So let's start off with what the heck is it? So ketogenic, it's a low-carb diet. It's kind of like Atkins, where instead of eating we're eating bread and spaghetti and all the fun, fatty foods that you can normally eat. Instead, you eat more of a high-fat diet, which is more like pork, a lot of cheese, a lot of meats. And the way a diet works is that you kind of kick out all of like the natural sugars or artificial sugars, such as like fruit, soda, anything that will fill your, I guess, that will give you raise your blood sugar. And the way your body produces energy, it changes it. So instead of using carbs to like fuel your brain and fuel your body for energy, instead it takes your metabolism and makes it process fat. And when your body processes fat, your liver decides to make these things called ketones. And ketones are what now would give you energy instead of carbs. So now not only does it fuel your body, but it also fuels your brain. So you're probably asking, why should I give up bread? I mean, I love bread, I love pasta, I love all these things. They taste so good, they're always warm. Well, there's some good positives to this. You lose a lot of weight very fast. I know personally when I started doing a ketogenic diet that I lost 30 pounds within like the first 3 to 4 weeks. And I was kind of shocked because this is like the first diet I've ever had where it's like actually I've seen results or I've actually had like an immediate change. Your energy levels go up. I used to be like a midday napper, like after work or after school, I would just crash. I would try to nap, take sleep, and now like I can seem like I can just go through the whole day and then like sleeping like a normal person. and then at the end of it all is that your cholesterol level drops. I know personally for me that my family has a long history of high cholesterol levels, and just knowing the fact that having taken 2 tests where I was at, I can't remember the numbers exactly, but I was very dangerously high level of cholesterol, and then going back 3 or 4 weeks later, it was a lot lower. Made me feel better in the fact of doing that. But just don't take my word for it. But in 2004, the Archives of Internal Medicine, they did a study between 60 people. They had 2 groups. They had a low carb group and a low fat group. Now, not only did the low carb group lose weight, lose more weight more often, but also faster, they also lost cholesterol. Well, they had a lower level of cholesterol as well. All right, now I mean, maybe what you're thinking. This is some kind of miracle diet where everybody always loses weight, everybody thins out. It's wild and crazy, but no, there are some negatives behind this. Now, the first few weeks of trying to do a ketogenic diet, it's really rough. You have to deal with the cravings of not having bread and not having spaghetti, and you also have like these flu-like symptoms where your body is low energy. You have headaches. You're angry. You're grumpy. I have yelled at more than a handful of people because I was on this diet. It's not the best when you're around a bunch of people, but and not only being around a bunch of people, but when you go out to eat, you're really restricting yourself of what you can and can't eat. Normally, you can do the fries, you can go to McDonald's, get the burgers, and you can still get the burgers and get all that stuff, but you have to eat without bread. And eating without bread, people look at you weird. You order food, like, hey, can I get a double cheeseburger with no bread? They're like, oh, what is this guy? Well, this is weird. And you can't go out drinking. You can't do a lot of you have to be a little bit more responsible, and you have to be very cautious of yourself. And then on top of that, if you don't go out at all, you have to go home and cook a lot. You have to meal prep. Like, I know for the first 2 weeks, I went to the store a lot, making sure I had everything: avocados, chicken breast, butter, and then I had to make sure I measure everything out, make sure everything was the right proportions. It was very long and annoying process, and then I had to plan 2 weeks in advance of what I wanted and make sure that nothing went over my calorie intake or diet. And it can be kind of stressful and kind of scary at the same time too. But it's just one of the sacrifices you have to make. And I think if you have all the information about a ketogenic diet and you know what exactly you're getting into by knowing what it is, what good can come from it, what bad can come from it, I feel like that at the end you'll change. You won't think of less of this as a diet and more of a lifestyle change. You'll feel like, wow, I'm not necessarily starving myself or robbing myself of good food. I'm eating delicious food that's healthy and good for me, but it also tastes good too. So it's not really like, hey, I'm trying to change my diet. I'm more of changing my lifestyle, improving myself for a better thing. And I challenge everybody else to do the same thing as well.
All right. Thank you, Anthony. And what was his time?
5 minutes, 9 seconds.
All right. Perfect. Well, do you have any questions?
What did you say about the outline?
Oh, so upload your outline. Ideally, it was due like right before the video started, but you couldn't turn it in right after. That's fine.
Okay.
Does everyone know where to go to do that?
Is it?
No.
No.
If you go to the informative speech
On Blackboard?
Yeah, all associated items on Blackboard. There's a folder where it says final draft of outline, upload it here.
Okay.
It's maybe about halfway down the page if you scroll down, because there's a lot of links on that page.
Okay.
Okay.
So make sure you do that. I'll send you the link to this video so that you have that. And I'll also post all of the videos. I was going to do it tonight, but since I have this 9 o'clock call, I might do it today or tomorrow. Yeah, so I guess I should do it tonight because you have your recast due. So I'll post that tonight and send an email out about that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay.
No.
Well, great job. Thank you so much for your work. And if anything comes up or you do have a question, you can just shoot me an email and I'll respond to it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Thanks.
Thank you too.
Bye.